going to take a look at the House floor because 6:52 p.m. on the East Coast in Washington, you can mark it. The vote is called. The votes are in. The House voting to eject Congresswoman Greene from the committees, to strip her of those powers. That is now official. And that's what it looks like. Daniela, that was a breaking news there. Our panel stays, but we're going to hear from Garrett Haake now that it's official, live on Capitol Hill. Garrett.
Ari, it may not sound like much, but 11 Republicans broke with their leadership here to vote for the expulsion of Marjorie Taylor Greene from those two committees. I have to be honest with you, that's significantly more than I anticipated. Remember, last night, Republicans had this 5-hour family meeting. They came out preaching about how they were so unified. They had voted to keep Liz Cheney in leadership. They had heard a version of the Marjorie Taylor Greene speech that we heard on the floor today. And all day, Republican leadership was really pushing back. They were saying this was a power grab, and this was Democrats overreaching, and this would be unprecedented and a slippery slope, and on and on and on. And to have 11 members break is significant. And as I look at the list, it's a weird mix. There's freshmen, there's newly elected members from Florida and from New York. There's longtime members like Fred Upton, who's been in the Congress for decades. There's geographic diversity to this. So I'm very interested over the next couple days, I think, to try to find what was the common thread between these members. But as I look at the list of folks here, a lot of these newer folks are from these perennial battleground districts, these suburban districts, these places where QAnon and conspiracy theories and all of this is just never going to fly. So whether that's the beginning of a broader rejection of this kind of thing for Republicans, or whether it's really just these 11 who found some electoral reason to vote against one of their own, I do think it's striking that the vote went the way it did tonight.
And Garrett, this is the news that Speaker Pelosi had pledged. She's known to count votes, so people did expect she would have them. And yet, if folks are coming home and turning on their TVs and seeing this breaking news now, Garrett, give us the perspective of just how rare it is. It has happened, but how rare it is for the Congress to take the step of completely stripping committee powers from a member.
Well, typically when this is done, it's done by one party punishing one of their own members. It's a kind of step that might be taken and was most recently taken for Steve King, who was a constant thorn in the side of Republican leadership, had said racist comment after racist comment. And it's a way for one party to kind of clean house against one of their own. King lost his committee seats, was effectively rendered powerless in the Congress, was immediately defeated in a primary the next year. For Democrats to reach across the aisle and say we're going to do this to another member speaks to what they believe is the severity of her offenses in this case.
Garrett Haake, thank you very much for being with us on a fairly significant night in Congress. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.